Hoarha. Greek form, Athotis, known for his unusual Syriac name. Circa 3050 BC. Hoarha, or Aha or Horus Aha, is considered the second pharaoh of the first dynasty of ancient Egypt in current Egyptology. He lived around the 31st century BC and is thought to have had a long reign. Identity. Name. The commonly used name Hoarha is a rendering of the pharaoh's Horus name, an element of the royal titulary associated with the god Horus, and is more fully given as Horus Aha, meaning Horus the fighter. For the early dynastic period, the archaeological record refers to the pharaohs by their Horus names, while the historical record, as evidenced in the Turin and Abydos king lists, uses an alternative royal titulary, the etiname. The different titular elements of a pharaoh's name were often used in isolation, for brevity's sake, although the choice varied according to circumstance and period. Mainstream Egyptological consensus follows the findings of Petrie in reconciling the two records and connects Hoarha, archaeological, with the etiname historical. Inscription bearing Hoarha's Syriac together with a etiname expressed with the gameboard hieroglyph, which could be read Mn. The same process has led to the identification of the historical mens, a etiname, with a Horus name, evidenced in the archaeological record. Both figures are credited with the unification of Egypt and as the first pharaoh of dynasty I, as the predecessor of Hoarha, the second pharaoh. Theories. There has been some controversy about Hoarha. Some believe him to be the same individual as the legendary Mens and that he was the one to unify all of Egypt. Others claim he was the son of Amma, the pharaoh who unified Egypt. Amma and Mens may have been one pharaoh, referred to with more than one name. Regardless, considerable historical evidence from the period points to Amma as the pharaoh who first unified Egypt, see Amma Palat, and to Hoarha as his son and heir. Reign. Successor to Amma. Seal impressions discovered by G. Dreyer in the Lqaab from Merith and Qaa burials identify Hoarha as the second pharaoh of the first dynasty. His predecessor Amma had united Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt into a single kingdom. Hoarha probably ascended the throne in the late 32nd century BC or early 31st century BC. Interior policy. Hoarha seems to have conducted many religious activities. A visit to a shrine of the goddess Ith is recorded on several tablets from his reign. The sanctuary of Ith he visited was located in the northeast of the Nile Delta at Ses. Furthermore, the first known representation of the sacred hubak of the god Seeker was found engraved on a year tablet dating from his reign. Vessel inscriptions, labels and sealings from the graves of Hoarha and Queen Ithetep suggest that this queen died during the reign of Aha. He arranged for her burial in a magnificent mastaba excavated by Jacques de Morgan. Queen Ithetep is plausibly Aha's mother. The selection of the cemetery of Akuada as the resting place of Ithetep is a strong indication that she came from this province. This, in turn, supports the view that Amma married a member of the ancient royal line of Akuada to strengthen the domination of the Theite kings over the region. However, in January 2016, a rock inscription has demonstrated that Ithetep was actually a queen regent early during the reign of Dje, Hoarha's successor. Therefore, the cemetery evidence above only proves that Ithetep did live during the reign of Hoarha but succeeded him into Dje's reign. Most importantly, the oldest mastaba at the North Saqqara necropolis of Memphis dates to his reign. The mastaba belongs to an elite member of the administration who may have been a relative of Hoarha, as was customary at the time. This is a strong indication of the growing importance of Memphis during Aha's reign. Economic development. Few artifacts remain of Hoarha's reign. However, the finely executed copper axe heads, faience vessel fragments, ivory box and inscribed white marbles all testify to the flourishing of craftsmanship during Aha's time in power. Activities outside Egypt. Inscription on an ivory tablet from Abydos suggests that Ho-Aha led an expedition against the Nubians. On a year tablet, a year is explicitly called Year of Smiting of Tarseti, i.e. Euboea. During Ho-Aha's reign, trade with the southern Levant seems to have been on the decline. Contrary to his predecessor Umma, Ho-Aha is not attested outside of the Nile Valley. This may point to a gradual replacement of long-distance trade between Egypt and its eastern neighbors by a more direct exploitation of the local resources by the Egyptians. Vessel fragment analysis from an Egyptian outpost at En Biza suggests that it was active during Ho-Aha's reign. Other Egyptian settlements are known to have been active at the time as well, Byblos and along the Lebanese coast. Finally, Ho-Aha's tomb yielded vessel fragments from the southern Levant. Family. Ho-Aha's chief wife was Birib, whose name was written alongside his on a number of historical pieces, in particular, from Tomb B14 at Abydos, Egypt. Tomb B14 is located directly adjacent to Ho-Aha's sepulchre. Ho-Aha also had another wife, Kethap, with whom he became father of Dja. She is mentioned as Dja's mother on the Cairo Annals stone. Tomb. The tomb of Ho-Aha is located in the necropolis of the kings of the First Dynasty at Abydos, known as the El-Qaab. It comprises three large chambers B10, B15 and B19 which are directly adjacent to Umma's tomb. The chambers are rectangular, directly dug in the desert floor, their walls lined with mud bricks. The tombs of Umma and Ka had only two adjacent chambers, while the tomb of Ho-Aha comprises three substantially larger yet separated chambers. The reason for this architecture is that it was difficult at that time to build large ceilings above the chambers, as timber for these structures often had to be imported from Palestine. A striking innovation of Ho-Aha's tomb is that members of the royal household were buried with the pharaoh, the earliest known retainer sacrifices in Egypt. It is unclear if they were killed or committed suicide. Among those buried were servants, dwarfs, women and even dogs. A total of 36 subsidiary burials were laid out in 3 parallel rows northeast of Ho-Aha's main chambers. As a symbol of royalty, Ho-Aha was even given a group of young lions.